Hi, this is Sara with Osteostrong Sioux Falls, and today we're going to talk about protein because protein is vital for healthy aging. It impacts our bones, our hormones, our muscles, and so much more. And we've been talking about it in center so much over the last month that I really wanted to share with you guys how I am personally getting to that 100-gram protein or more while also being dairy and gluten-free. It sounds so overwhelming when we first hear we need to get at least 100 grams of protein. It's wow, how can I even eat that much? How is this even possible? Especially if I don't eat dairy and I can't have yogurt or cottage cheese. How do I do this? It is completely possible. We just have to be a little bit more creative, and then we also have to be willing to plan just a little bit. So today I'm going to go ahead and share with you my approach on how I get to 120 grams of proteins between my meals and snacks, what I'm actually eating today, and how I approach my mindset for the week and how I plan that, and the things I keep on hand to help me get to 120 grams of protein. Because really, when you have those pieces in place, you can mix and match them, giving yourself some variety, but then still hitting your goal. And since I start focusing on getting over 100 grams of protein every day, I've noticed I have more sustainable energy during the day, and I'm less hungry, and I also snack less. So first and foremost, we want to talk about our approach and our mindset to that. So when I first went dairy-free, and then again when I went gluten-free a few years later, I have always kept the mindset of focusing on what food can I eat, not what I cannot eat. When I focus on what I can eat, it gives me joy, it gives us positive energy, and we don't feel like we're missing out. When you focus on the things that you can't eat, you feel the negative energy and what the things you might be missing out on. But we're really not, right? We're making healthy choices that serve us and our bodies well. When I start thinking about the whole week and our meal plan, I always keep things simple. Life is busy. There's always something going on at all stages of life. So when we start to think about how in the world are we gonna add one more thing we're tracking and keeping track of, we're just gonna keep it simple. So when I started doing 120 grams of protein every day, I started by focusing on breakfast. I picked one meal. I only focused on how can I make my breakfast have more protein in it. I left all the rest of the food I was eating at the same. Once I felt really comfortable with breakfast, I was like, snacks. I love snacks. How can I bump up my protein in my snacks? Pretty fortunate that over the years, our lunch and supper has been pretty much focused on a meat source, some sort of protein, and some veggies. So that I've just tweaked a little bit over the time. But I'm always aiming to get 20 to 30 grams minimum of protein for each meal and snack. And then eating about 4 to 5 times a day, that easily adds up to that 100 plus grams of protein. I've been dairy-free since 2015, so I spent a lot of years looking at different products, trying different products, figuring out what dairy-free items taste good, what's worth the money, what's not, and what also is helping me get that goal of 120. I am actually fairly picky about textures, smells, flavors. So what I have found works for me, I'm hoping some of that might work for you as well. Today I had a pre-made plant-based shake from the Owen brand. I threw in 2 tablespoons of PB2. I always thin it out with a little bit of water because it's a little bit thick for me, and I iced it. That got me to about 39 grams of protein. For lunch this week, I'm having a chicken vegetable soup. I used a chicken bone broth. I threw in some chicken breasts and a whole lot of veggies, and that got me about 26 grams of protein. Then for supper tonight, we're going to be doing meatloaf with a French onion gravy, and then we'll probably do sauteed veggies and salads. I might throw a hard-boiled egg in with that salad, so we'll be at about 32 grams of protein with that. And for snacks today, I've had some meat roll-ups. I'll probably have a half a protein shake, and I may or may not have a beef stick. They're always with me, and some veggies and an apple. So together my snacks is about 16 grams. So between all of that, today I'm gonna average right around that 130 grams. When I track things, I really do keep it simple. I'll Google, look at a package, and I write it down on a Post-it note. Once I know where I'm at, I throw it away. I don't keep it. We know we hit our goal for today. Yay, win, we get a gold star, we're moving on. When I plan my week, I just keep it simple. I know myself during the weekdays, I'm not a morning person, I want something quick. I'm gonna be doing a protein shake. On the weekends, maybe we're gonna make eggs with the breakfast meat, or I'm gonna do a high protein oatmeal. I know oatmeal can get sometimes a bad rap, and there's some concerns with some different things, but it's quite simple. With the oatmeal, you're gonna soak those oats overnight, rinse them off in the morning, cook them as usual, then you're not gonna have to worry about that the acid on them and how that it could affect you. Don't have to worry about it. We're gonna soak it, we're done. Then we're gonna pair that oatmeal with a protein powder, some PB2, some good fat and chia seeds. I threw some almond milk. I like mine with a little bit of fruit, blueberries or bananas, and then I also like them with some little bit of pecans or chopped walnuts on top. All together, that's gonna get us 35 to almost 39 grams of protein. That's incredible. That makes that oatmeal really good for you. There's some really good health benefits to it, but then pairing it with that fat and high protein also is gonna make it just a lot easier for your body and that blood glucose. For lunch for the week, I'm either doing leftovers from supper or I am picking one protein, I'm pairing it with a vegetable. This week, I did chicken vegetables. The week before, I did chicken lunch meat sandwiches on a gluten-free bread with some fresh veggies. Next week, I might do a stir fry or I might do a hamburger beef soup. I might do a gluten-free noodle with a meat sauce and then pairing it with some steamed broccoli. I keep that pretty flexible. For supper, I do try to keep a little variety because I know for 5 days at my lunch, I'm gonna eat the exact same protein, right? I'm having chicken 5 days this week. So at evening, I try to have a little bit more variety. So we're either going to be having salmon, chicken, some sort of beef, a pork chop, but each evening I'm going to be picking that protein source that we're gonna have to get us to at least 20 to 25 grams of protein. And I'm gonna pair it with a salad. Almost always we're gonna finish that off with some fresh fruit. Then for snacks, right? Snacks are important to me. Love snacks, always have been. My grandma was so annoyed with me because I like to eat so many snacks as a kid. I'd rather have snacks than a real meal. But now as an adult, I really do try to keep those high protein. Mini beef sticks, beef jerky, air dried beef, meat rolls. So I take deli meat and roll it in with some pickles. Also could be a great supper option as well. Hard boiled eggs, or I'll even do an egg bake. And then protein shake. I might have a half or a whole protein shake, and then I almost always have some fruit and veggies. Our plan, when I look at our week, it's always flexible. I know I'm married to a farmer. We go to sporting events, life happens. We always keep things flexible, and I always keep some easy things that we could also do when we need to pivot, whether that's a deli meat, eggs, some gluten-free chicken nuggets, or protein shakes. I always have some easy, quick options on hand as well. Speaking of what I have on hand, let's talk about the things that are always in my pantry, because this is what helps me get to 120 grams of protein, is what I keep in my pantry, fridge, and freezer. So we're gonna start with talking about plant-based proteins and vegan proteins. Protein powders, especially plant-based ones, can be gross. Let's just be 100% honest. Some of them can be gritty. Some of them can have a weird after flavor. I know, I have tried quite a few. And these are the ones that I have found that blend well and taste good and keep me full. So this is the Owen protein shake. This is what I had for breakfast. This is truly my go-to because it's quick and easy and I'm not a morning person. So I am going to pour this into a cup. I always thin it out with some water, personal preference for texture. And then I'm gonna add it to that PB2 powder. So the Owen brand, they have a few different options. Personally, I have liked the 32 gram protein a little bit better than the 20 gram. I like the texture and the flavor better. You're getting 32 grams of protein for 200 calories. I really love the chocolate. They also have one like a no nut butter, like a peanut butter cup one. That was decent. The vanilla reminded me a lot, vanilla milkshake. And then there's the sea salt caramel, which is a little bit sweet for me for breakfast, but it's excellent as an afternoon snack. So like doing half of one of those in the afternoon works really well for me. They also come in a plastic bottle. I prefer them in the paper one. It tastes different. I buy mine at Sam's Club, Walmart, and then also Hy-Vee and Target carries them. They're actually pretty easy to find. So that is really my go-to breakfast and snack option. If I'm gonna blend a smoothie up with some other fruits and veggies, I'm going to use the Clean Simple Eats. This I do order online. I get the vegan chocolate. I have not tried their vanilla yet. Their chocolate is delicious. I also add the oatmeal. One scoop is giving us 18 grams of protein for 115 calories. When I do this in a shake, just because I do want my breakfast to be closer to that 40 grams, I'm going to go ahead and do a scoop and a half of this. And then I'm gonna add that PB2 powder. So the PB2 powder, you can find this anywhere. You're getting 8 grams of protein, 60 calories, and 2 tablespoons. This is just such a great way to boost. If you're like, oh, I can't do peanuts, they also have an almond based as well. But it's such a great way just to get a little extra protein. And personally, I love chocolate and peanut butter together. And this, Target, Walmart, Hy-Vee, this you can find anywhere. The Truvina all plant-based protein in Sioux Falls. They are available in store at Natural Grocers in the vitamin shop. Natural Grocers had a chai, a chocolate, I think one other flavor in the vanilla. Vanilla isn't honestly one of my favorite flavors, but I really wanted to try this because I want to make a high protein pancake with it, mixing a half a cup of egg whites. I think it was a half a cup of protein powder. I'll have to double check my recipe, and then creating that and then pairing it with the PB2 and some fruit. 1 scoop of the Truvina is going to get you 20 grams of protein and 130 calories, and it actually only has 5 ingredients, and this blended really well. When I put it in a smoothie with banana and avocado, this and a little bit of ice in the PB2, it was so smooth. It wasn't gritty. It didn't have an aftertaste. On their website or Amazon, you can get a 5-pack to try out their sample. And I have that coming in a couple days, so I'll let you know if there's one I like even better. Deli meats. It's such a great way to get good proteins. There's lots of great options. I know there's some at Costco, Hy-Vee, there's so many. I tend to get the Natural Choice by Hormel. They also have a really good bacon. That is a bonus tip for you. Their bacon, delicious. This Natural Choice deli meat, 4 slices is about 10 to 11 grams of protein. Walmart carries it, I'm sure Target does as well. And then Hy-Vee actually had a great selection. So they had a couple different, they had a cherry wood smoked ham and a couple other hams. They also have a chicken. I love sliced chicken, deli chicken, and then a roast beef as well. So oftentimes I will either do that with a sandwich or I will roll it with that pickle to eat. It's also great to put it on top of a salad, or you can also fry it up with some eggs. Speaking of, eggs are also such a good way to up my protein. So eggs are dairy-free. I know they're in the dairy section. There is sometimes controversy. They come from a chicken, not a lactating animal like a cow. So 6 grams of protein in a large egg. They're great. We can hard boil them. I also like to make them as an egg bake with usually, I like a taco season one, or even pairing it with some of the ham lunch meat, heat it up, and then some veggies as well. Pretty much have one of these with me everywhere I go. These are Country Archer mini beef sticks. They have a great ingredient list that is clean. You're going to be getting 4 grams of protein and 50 calories per mini stick. Oftentimes I'll have 1 or 2 of these a day. They're just a nice little, oh, I need a little something. They work really well for that. Country Archer also will do beef jerky. So 1 ounce of their beef jerky is 9 grams of protein and 70 calories. So a really good ratio there for protein and calories. This, I'm pretty sure they have them at Hy-Vee. I saw them in Natural Grocers had them. I've also tried their mango habanero one. It's good, but it has a kick. My newest find from Aldi is actually this Simms thinly sliced steak. It's an air-dried beef, so they're really thin. Honestly, you just need to see this. They're tasty, it has good flavor. They also had a chili lime one, which had a little bit of a kick, but they're just like a little thin piece of air-dried beef. The whole package is 2 ounces and has 32 grams. I tend to eat only like an ounce at a time for 16 grams. Things we always have on hand for meals is tuna. Honestly, I was never a tuna eater until actually this summer. The smell, the whole thing, it's been dramatic. But because this 1 can of tuna has 42 grams of protein in it, I really wanted to give it a try. I did some Googling. I learned if you pair it with a lot of lemon, if you don't like fishy taste, by putting a lot of lemon juice on it. I put a little bit of mayo. I've also heard avocado is delicious with your tuna. And then pairing it with salt, pepper, and dill. I love dill. That makes it really easy for me. I tend to eat mine with a little bit of lettuce and maybe something crunchy with it as well. The Ripple Pea plant protein milk, they also sell this at the stores in the refrigerated section. I just happen to have it shelf stable. 1 cup of this is gonna be 8 grams of protein. I'm gonna use this while I'm cooking. If something needs to have a cream, it might call for coconut milk or something creamer, I'm almost always gonna grab this because I have it on hand and it has 8 grams of protein. I don't care for it in my coffee. It's great in cooking. And then I always have bone broth. The 1 cup of that is about 9 grams of protein and 45 calories, and it's a pretty decent amount of, it's lower amount of sodium than a vegetable stock. So when I'm making a soup or cooking with something, by swapping stock to a bone broth really helps to up that protein as well. I always keep chicken breast, salmon, some pork chops, some beef, ground beef roast, a couple steaks, and then also golden platter gluten-free chicken nuggets. They actually have a pretty clean ingredient list. They're high in protein for them on chicken nuggets they are. We can actually eat about 8 of them to get to that goal that we're looking for, and they're quick and easy. And really sometimes you just need something that's a little comforting and quick to go. So being dairy-free and getting over 100 grams of protein, it is possible, and you can do it every day. We just need to remember we're gonna plan just a little bit, think a little bit, find the foods that we love, keep them on hand, but we're gonna focus on what we can eat and what we like to eat. We're gonna keep it simple. We're just gonna start by upping our protein 1 meal. All we're gonna do, we're gonna keep it small. We're gonna get that one meal down till it's a habit, then we're going to the next. Once that gets to that 20 to 30 grams, we'll tackle the next thing, or we'll just tweak a little bit, but we're going to keep it simple. That is the best advice we can do. We don't need stress in our life. We're gonna keep this as simple as we possibly can. So I hope that you've taken a couple ideas and try a couple of the different things that I found that have worked for me. I hope they work for you to incorporate to get more protein into your diet. But be sure to comment or email or talk to us at your session about your favorite ways that are dairy-free that you're getting protein and what's working for you.